Hello, John Tierney here in Kilgobnet graveyard in West County Waterford, and we have a Heritage Council grant to come back here this year and to study the iconography on the headstones. And there's a few different ways of recording the iconography, and one of the ways is by doing newsprint rubbings. You get a newsprint sheet that's from flip chart paper you buy it in the stationers, and then you get a sponge and you get carbon paper. You wrap the carbon paper around the sponge, you smooth the paper on the face of the stone, and then you rub it with the carbon paper. Start out at the edges, get the edges good. So there, that's after defining our edges, our bounds. The smoother you have it, the tighter you hold it. S emerging there, H with the cross attached to the crossbar, and the I. Keep it nice and tight. The lettering now is appearing. We don't do the rubbings for the lettering. We can read the lettering by eye, or with a mirror, or with a torch. So the questions we have here is, what kind of borders have we got? What kind of decoration or ornaments do we have at the top? And that's what the purpose of this rubbing is. When we do the rubbings, we combine it with a couple of other techniques. We use the mirror. The mirror is here. Before we take the paper off, we write on the mortuary monument number. So this is 273. We photograph it on the stone, and what we like about using the rubbings is that we have a one-to-one copy of the I have the camera out now, I'm taking a photograph of that, a record shot of it on the stone. We like this because it has detail of the ornament at top. The downsides of the technique is that it only really works when there's shallow carving, and in this case the carving is relatively deep. And just to show how we compare it with another technique, if I peel off the paper there at the side, that's what it looks like without the rubbing, and this then is what it looks like with the mirror. So the mirror up the top shows exactly the same as what we had, the IHS, the heart, and then here lie at the body of Margaret Dower, who departed July the 16th, 1751, age 17 years. She's only a young girl. Now the question is, we have a border here, but the question is that ornamented? And I'm not really seeing it. So if there was two of us here, I've come on my own today, but if there was two of us here, one person could photograph this shot with the mirror on as well. And then we have a record sheet, and we'd fill out that detail onto the record sheet. So that's number 273. So that was 273, now we move down to 274. Now 274, turned out, was a priest's grave and is facing the other direction. This gravestone is facing west. So I've come around the other side, and I've set up the paper. Now, like I say, the paper we're using is newsprint flip quality, and it's the one I'm using is flip chart. Aidan Connolly told me last week you can get newsprint from art supply shops very economically. A ream of 500 for 30 odd euro. It's just slightly smaller than this fella, so that's why I'm sticking with the newsprint for today. So this one is just the right size for this headstone. This is mid 18th century headstone. They tend to be smaller than the 19th century ones. If we're doing lots of big 19th century ones, I like to try and get a roll of newsprint, although I haven't got one of them in a long time. But when you're laying the paper on, I usually just have a piece of masking tape at the top where I center the page, and then I just want to have a little bit of overlap on the top and at the sides. And once you've the overlap done, then I tape it on. And what we do then is I tend to use fresh carbon paper if I can. So one of the main criteria or restrictions on the method is wind. So you need to find a dry day, and then you need to find a day there isn't much wind. So now again we start out at the edge, demarcate the edge of the stone all the way over and down. That's giving us an edge. We have a hint now of some kind of ornament in here. Into the middle, IHS with Robert Chappell's Omega in the middle with the cross attached, and then down just to see, smooth it with one hand, follow with the other. Okay, the inscription is down here. There's a hint of something here under the IHS. So this sheet is going to be of use because it'll be 1-to-1. I can take dimensions off it if I want. It's got the main iconographic elements. There's a hint of a border here now with a lozenge ornament. And in this case the heart is upside down. Okay, so that's interesting. See if there's any decorated border. It's not shouting out like this. Get out the camera. The sun is behind the cloud. But here, right where I am, get out the camera, hold back, ×1 image, take the photograph. So that's that photographed. I can loosen the tape. From the top and from the sides. It's important to take the photograph when the paper is still attached to the stone. You probably won't get a better surface to attach it to. We lay them out on the floor back at base, and we can take a photograph of it there as well. And the other thing is, but ideally, if you're doing the rubbing in the morning and the sun is on the face of the stone, you will get a high quality photograph of the rubbing before you remove it from the stone. Putting in a little bit of a fold on that now. But that's my piece, and then I can inspect what's underneath. If the sun was around the other side, I could use the mirror. Even now, bouncing the light of the mirror, what am I seeing? There's a hint of something in there. I'll catch that with the mirror under the blackout curtain. So we'll have a look at that now. Okay, we've got the blackout curtain draped over the stone. And I always have a look just through the curtain. We need a bit more cover over here. Very often if we're with a group, somebody will be in charge of blocking off the light with the curtain. What I'll do now, just see using the torch. Okay, so we have a hint of a border. There's a cross with the IHS, and then under the IHS there, it's not, it's a foliage, so there's leaves. We often get foliage and scrolling. Oh wait, and now there's more after revealing here now. So there is a hint of a chalice there without a lid. Is there more foliage there and here? Alright, so now what I'll do is I'll take record photographs under the blackout curtain. You can also just do a video. I like having the photographs of the details, but you can see it's a combined methodology that's used. So I'm after switching around to the other face of 274, and I've got the blackout curtain up, and then on this side, this is one of these nice West Waterford headstones that are decorated front and back. And the back, it has this complex kind of geometric shaped cross, which I think is mirroring 14th century grave slabs. Just pull the rug back over. So the cross on top, I can't say that it's in a sunburst. The light just isn't saying, but it could well be. On one side then we have a winged head, quite a jaunty looking character, and then on the other side, usually there's symmetry on the stones, and then on the other side there's another winged head. Okay, and then we have this false relief cross, which often ends in a kind of a forked foot, as if it was being stuck into the ground. So this one is finished and ornamented on the back as well, because it's for a priest. It's a Reverend Morrissey, M-O-R-O-S-Y or O-S-O-Y. Morrissey, a good West Waterford name. Okay, so do a rubbing at this side, and try and take photographs then as well. That's the procedure. The sun is out. Because we're behind the stone now, we'll just see if the mirror is going to help us. The sun will come now again. It'll come in a minute. So, looking down the valley, that's the Dungarvan Valley down there. There are the Drum Hills on the far side. Ardmore is at the far end of them, where we're based. And Kilgobnet, Butte. Just over 100 18th century stones, which is one of the highest tallies we have for the whole country. So it's a very interesting site, which is why then we got the support for doing the iconographical recording here. There's one row here of 8 headstones, all from the late 1700s, and that's what I'm working on at the moment. Back in Kilgobnet. Well, there's Dungarvan below us, and the moon above. Earlier today I was down there. I'll go back down there as well in a minute. So Kilgobnet, that's the present day church. The round-headed arch is Romanesque. This here is the ruins of Romanesque church. Is it Romanesque? Yeah, it's early medieval anyway. And it's right here on the side of the hill. Looking across Gideon Rhine. Something coming up now. Up the Drum Hills. Now, I was in here today. I mentioned we have there's over 100 18th century headstones. A handful of them are from the 1730s, 1740s, and I came in today and marked some of these. I'm not sure now. I just pressed one there behind me. As you look at the camera straight on, it's not looking so good. I wonder if I shine the light from the side. Yeah. Okay. IHS. That foliage there at the sides. Going tighter to get the shadow. More foliage there. Here lies the Brodget and the body of Bridget Neville, alias Scanlon. 1807. Alright. So that works alright. Was there a stone? Oh, I think it was here. An early one. Yeah, here. Okay, 1748. This is 1748 headstone. Shine the light from the side. It's kind of an arrow. A spearhead there, and then in the middle the IHS with the upside down heart, and then there's a wee bird there, pointing with my thumb. And is there a bird on the other side? Yeah. Yeah. Here lieth the body of Catherine Queenie, departed this 1748. See the 4 there is falling forward. That's often the case with those early ones. Okay, so what would you make that then? Could it be a winged head? Could it be? No, no. But anyway, that's interesting. The bird is definitely there on that side, and here on this side too. So that's 2 birds. Okay, and that's the 1748. This lad here is also, this is 1743. Stick him on top. Have a look. Okay, he stood out well today. A decorated border over the IHS. Here lies the body of Mary Scanlon. Alright, okay. We hate that Scanine or something, but it's Scanlen. Who departed this life. '24, 1743. Okay, that's a beaut. Okay, hold them right there. So I think the trick is to go tight. Yeah. Shine the light from the other side. Oh, here is spelled H-E-A-R. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, there's a beaut in here now. What's on this one? Fish. Okay, we did this fella during the daytime, and he was a beaut. I marked him with the hazard tape. Can I get a tighter angle on that? Margaret Tobin, sons of her children and relations. She died August 1756. So this is quite ornate. It has a fish and a bird. That's showing up in the video. That's the fish there. A pot. Is there a pot there? Yeah. That's the rooster, or the cock on the pot. There. Potentially the 30 pieces of silver along here. IHS. INRI, so that's quite complex. and then ornamental border, so that's nicely cut. Trying to remember, yeah. So just the pre-1750s. So 1748. What I was thinking today, see that's a damage line there. So there's actually, some of these early ones actually have broken, and I think very often the damage is caused by trees, branches falling off and striking the top. Here lies the body of IHS. It's heavily encrusted with the lichens, so it's not an easy one to read. Put him over. Shine the light in. Tight angle. No. Just thinking about the previous one. This, we saw the fish in the daytime better. So it looks like you have to combine your techniques. What have we got here? IHS and a winged head with long sweeping wings there. Almost always balanced with symmetry. What's going on there? Okay. Look at that. So that would have been a headstone, the top part then above the ground, and look how much you'd have below the ground. Now that's early. That's very unusual. See such a long section for under the ground. Trying to remember, did the early ones come over here? They did, yeah. This is an early one here. Later one here alongside, and that's got some kind of angel, full angel, erected by Thomas Mulcahy in memory of Michael Creeley. Creeley, big name in County Waterford, and Mulcahy, 1854, and it's signed out of Waterford. That's the stone carver there. I'm not seeing it really. Kennedy. Oh, we had a Kennedy signed as well. Okay, 167, that's the number, and 1742, that's the date. Round-headed, small little shoulders. There's a bird. So we're seeing far more birds than I thought. Run away. Kind of shame. That bird. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. The head turned down. Right. So that's more birds than I was aware of. Queely. So what's that? 167. So it's the Creeley family group. IHS. Tree nails, a crucifixion. IHS and a sunburst. Something underneath the sunburst. IHS and the sunburst. Tight and cast shadows and don't blind the camera. And just this is the one again with the fish. INRI at the side. Yeah, there's another early one. Number 226, 1748, but that's a break again at the top. There. Now IHS cross attached. Here lie at the body of Catherine Fowlou, or Power. F or P, F, Fowlou, who departed this life 26th of something. Age 16 years. Yeah, it's got a frame. And how decorated is the border, I'm not sure. Okay, there's that foliage on the side. That's a Richard Fowlu, F-O-U-L-O-W, so that's the Irish Fowlu Asquelga. Became Foley in English pronunciation. Nearly done now. These are the ones we were looking at today. So 273, 274, IHS, that foliage beneath, and then the hint of the outline of a chalice there and there in the other corner, and then leaves inside that. The Reverend Father Lawrence Morrissey, who departed this life 1785, and we had a look at it today under, and there's the decorated back, the cross and a boss on top, and then the cross below with the legs. Very West Waterford. This was the first one we looked at. Tight with the angle. Okay, so if you're taking photographs, I guess it has to be on a tripod. These are all 18th century. And this one then is 1736. So this is nearly the eldest that we've read. Okay, there's a IHS, cross attached, instead of a curving, so he's done it in false relief. And then there's crosses here, there. Right, there's a hint of a structure about that. James Power died June 20, 1736, age 28. The body of William Power. 1787. Okay, that's a beaut. That's a beaut. This one then, smaller. It's in the early row. Thomas O'Creen Asquelga, February the 11th, 1787. Age of 70 years. Simple narrow stone, same date as the ones alongside it. The AHS, false relief. My granny was a Mayo woman. I remember once when I was young, she said, the safest place to be, John, is in a graveyard. I don't think I believed her. I was thinking, and like she wasn't short of superstitions and things. But she said, the dead will never hurt anybody. So yeah, here we are. That factory down there is where the spire in Dublin was built. The Dungarvan Valley goes all the way to Kerry. The Blackwater Valley runs along most of it, and then it's captured up at Cappoquin, and it runs south from there down into Yall Bay. But previous to that, in geological time, it would have run out here into Dungarvan Bay. In the same vein, this church that's up there, the ruined church, that's built in an architectural style which is found all the way up the valley as well. Tomás Carragon. I studied that. And two, this is called Kilgobnet. Gobnet is a saint, and you'll find her from here all the way down to Kerry. If you continue going up this valley, it takes you up to Lombardstown and Abbey's Well, and Kilgobnet is there. Abbey is the Anglicization of Gobnet, I don't know how. So that's what, 40-50 miles from here, and that's up that way. So we're in the Gobnet zone. This is the western end of it, and the landscape, even though we seem like we're far from Kerry, instead we're connected culturally. Now this fella is revealing what we have over there. I couldn't make sense of him, but look there, there's a face there and there's wings either side, so it's a winged head underneath, and that's what we have over on one of the two over yonder. So here, oh, there's lids here on these chalices, so I think it makes them ciboriums. There's foliage underneath, and then there's a head, winged head, with two upturning kind of wings. And that kind of style we have over in a little bit in Ardmore, a little bit over into Youghal. So we're seeing a kind of an East Cork, West Waterford thing going on. This flat one is in the corner. Where is it going? Could be facing the other way. Here lies the body. Here, L-Y-E-S, the body of, oh, it's brutal. It must be one full lichen population covering the whole stone. Amazing. Lichen people must love these. Okay. So, I think one thing we've learned when we're doing the graveyards is that there are no shortcuts, and that if you're looking for shortcuts you're making a mistake. So rather than be thinking of what's the quickest way, the rapid survey is just have a good system and go and do it. Just take your time on each one. It's a way of remembering people who've gone before us. There's no rush. Go in early in the morning, go in a bit later in the evening, once you're safe. This is the old style. Okay, there's the van. Off we go.